Oh, hello everyone. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was sitting here thinking, I'm contemplating, before I start to think too much about sharing, because here I am, I'm back, and I've been wanting to share for a long time, but I haven't shared for a very, very long time because, well, in fact, I don't know why, it just fell away. And there needs to be no reason to explain that, I guess. I was speaking with my friend Kurt the other day, and we were messaging back and forth, and even if it's just me and Kurt sharing right now, I feel good. Hey Google, can you turn down the music, please? Hey Google, can you turn down the music a little bit more? Hey Google, can you turn down the music 25%? Well, that's really low. Anyway, hey Kurt, hello. So and I know that like Marie is here also too. I get, you know, it got really. I'm just going to talk off my head because it's very interesting because my life is very, very different than it was before, and it's so beautiful because I don't know. It's just a perspective in the world. Isn't it great just to share a perspective, like a real perspective of like before the ego jumps in and it really slippery and sly, because I don't know, I'm such a deep person. I'm so interested in my freedom. So what does that mean? You know, freedom to go deeper and deeper into my experience. And I realize externally, Kurt, or anyone who's watching me, coming back here, who's watching me, is that, what is this freedom? I don't know. It even goes beyond this kind of our daily experience, our daily experiences and stuff like that. And after I realize that, you know, I'm not my thoughts, or I'm not the story of my life, that, you know, this is very, very profound. And that's why, like, it's just like, it's very profound for me. I don't know, it's just a perspective, and maybe it resonates with you, which if it doesn't, it's so cool because that's so beautiful. And all I want is just, I guess, freedom for everyone, really. Ultimately, freedom for myself, and freedom from the story, freedom from recognizing my thoughts, which have been a very long time now. So you know, I recognize those, and I question those, and I question, you know, what is always permanently here. And then what is always permanently here is the observer of all of it. You know, that never goes. Like when I go to sleep, whatever I do, whatever I'm doing, it never goes away. If success or failure or whatever, however I label why I'm obsessed with all of that, or why one was all that, and you do a lot of inquiry into what is real, what's not real, because, you know, what I really realize is that for myself is that I'm with myself all the time, and I don't know what else exists and what is reality and what's not. And that's how deep I am as a person, and that's, you know, and I could care less if it resonated with one follower or one person or not, because because the thought of trying to appeal to anybody is just silly. You know, it's not, I have no other desire to appeal to anyone. And I think that's one of the reasons why I stopped sharing, or stopped sharing consistently. And I don't know if, how often I will share, but I certainly feel that it's like I have a desire to help others. I don't need to help others. I have a desire helping myself and realizing that there's so much liberty or freedom in choosing to not respond to any concept or construct in the head, which I really realize is so impermanent. And like, you know, it's just right watching it, and it's so liberating, because everything that I I'm searching for words here, because I'm just being free and sharing with you at the moment. It's just a perspective. And, you know, I realize like a lot that like nothing externally will ever bring me any kind of happiness, and that happiness, or this journey or whatever, includes everything, challenges, all of this stuff, because when I look at my head and realize that the story that I've been telling myself, or what, you know, and it's a constant check-in, you know, it's a constant check-in to like to your reality, or your so-called reality. So I don't know what else exists outside of me, or with people or persons, and everybody everybody must be like, I don't know, if you're like me, like experiencing things that you live and learn from, and you pick and choose. And so now I realize that part of me that I was just talking about that is permanent is the part that looks at all the stories and events and lives, and it's kind of fun and interesting and wonderful, and to be alive in moments and stuff like that. And realizing your human side and realizing the human condition through my work and through my life, that I realize that I have choices, and some of them are really hard, and letting go is overwhelming, because like letting go of like the performer in me that I was, that needed the applause and the teacher, or something, because as a teacher I became a teacher and a choreographer, and I realized that there was, you know, these kind of remnants or something, can I say that, like left over, that's in the mind, that is, you know, some kind of, you know, underlying currents that try to bubble up. And it's very interesting to watch that play within yourself, and you know that it bubbles up, and you know, and tries to tell you that the choices that you're making are not you know, good for you, and that, you know, come back to reality, come back down to earth and all this stuff. And I can pick and choose that, and you can too. That's what's so wonderful to share. Like, it's, you know, everyone's perspective is perhaps very different, but what is yeah, I don't know anything. That's such a beautiful thing. And now it's time to I surrender. Like, I surrender to not knowing anything, because, or trying to get anything, you know. I think the question I asked myself of why I was not sharing before is that maybe perhaps sometimes I recognize that I like searched, or this was maybe subconscious, coming up consciously. Am I trying to get people to agree with what I'm saying, or to, no, I don't, at times, no, and I just naturally just stopped sharing because it just happened, whatever. And even right now, I can share that I feel scattered, because I don't know anything, like, it's just, but I know that I love sitting here talking to you, and that's really feeling my own possibility to share a perspective. Because when people share their perspectives, or I read books or stuff like that, I find like-minded people, and it resonates with me. And so if it resonates, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But there are, like, I think there's going to be a, like, I don't know, a small group that is here with me, sharing and just listening, and I don't know, supporting each other unconditionally. And that's what me and Kurt do. And I will refer to Kurt, because Kurt is one of my favorite people ever. Been in my life for quite a long time. And I, you know, there are several of you that are here with me that maybe will come back to watch my sharings, or that was following me before. But to see the liberty of that is like, I don't really care. And and at the same time I really care, because I don't know, life is a really interesting thing, an interesting journey. And you know, from the perspective of You're Not Your Story, that is just the most liberating thing, and I can do that. And watching it try to come back and make my life my story is something very profound. And it's not going to resonate with many people, because I don't know, it's just not. Anyway, I realized that there's so much joy in letting go of every possibility, and watching all my triggers. I was just with my family right now in America, and that was so beautiful. And also my partner was with me, and watching him have his triggers, maybe triggers, you know, the triggers that make you respond to automatically respond to a situation, you know, because I think family can really do that, can trigger you, because like I feel like it's in my DNA, something like that. But I have so much great gratitude, and realize that that within my triggers there's judgment, you know, the judgment that is that arises from, and how I want this and how I want that, I want to go my way, and all that kind of stuff that I share with you so intimately, and that's not real or not true. And you know, going with the flow is certainly not identifying with the story. There is definitely, you know, triggers that will be pushed, and there's an opportunity in that to realize that I can step back and I can realize that I have choices on how I respond to certain things, and by just responding. So, oh gosh, it's so liberating, and it feels so good to be here with you, just to share. Whoever is watching, Kurt, I just continue to say your name because I love you so much, and I am so grateful for our unconditional relationship, and with many of you here too. And yeah, what is this life? What is this life, man? I just don't even believe in well, anything, really, because that's not going with the flow. And how is a belief is only something you keep thinking, you know. What I realize, because if I keep thinking that, then it becomes a belief in the belief system or something like that. And for lack of a better word, I believe in a source. There is a source that I have to believe in, that is always here, because that part is recognizing and realizing that that we are there's a part that knows my hand is moving. There's a part that's beating my heart and growing my hair. I've said that many times, but that is a constant recognition of the part that is always there. There's a consistent thing that's always here when I go to sleep at night and I wake up in the morning, and there's those eyes that are constantly looking at Maurice and how Maurice is here. So this is really profound, and I don't know. It's a really beautiful to have the intimate thing with myself, and recognizing that I am no victim of anything. What I realize, what a lot of us have in common, is that we suffer a lot. We suffer, and that's so important. Suffering is so important, and these emotions. But you're not your emotion. I am not my emotions. I speak for myself. I am not my emotions, and I am not my story, and I am not. I can detach myself from all of that and watch it as a play, and not be attached to any kind of situation. Now, that attachment may happen, but I recognize that this part that is always there observing that can let go of that, and that's beautiful. That's that's a higher form of existence, because I have the potential to change with the way I think about things, which I've been doing for a very long time. And coming to this point where I need no validation, no validation from anybody or anything, and I can recognize in which direction I want to go and which direction I don't want to go, and I find, you know, that as I observe out into the world, there's so much injustice, and I think that I'm an empath. I've never, like, I'm just saying that myself because I really care a lot about humanity, and that's so big, and a lot of people don't. And that, you know, observing and you know, I used to be so irritated with the injustice of everything, of like how people respond to you and how people like judge you, and feeling judged and judged and judged and judged. And I think that all this started happening when I was just like realizing I feel judged all the time. What can I do about it? What can I do about these thoughts, you know, and what is my potential here and with that? So that's what I feel really scattered right now, but that's so good to feel, just not trying to get anything from you or trying to be different or whatever, you know, like how, you know, just being real. And I want to say a few things that just before I go, that really perhaps sparked more and more the inquiry of what is real, and what thoughts bring me more suffering, and when I compare, and what thoughts are not there are some life events in my life which, by being open about these, when I ruptured my Achilles tendon as a dancer, everything started to change, and I started to look at my childhood. Because I didn't know if, dancing was what I did, and I was the dancer, and I believed in the story of the dancer of Maurice, and the story of what that, and I've never looked at myself. I rode this wave, and I was perhaps very content and on the level of my ego, and satisfied and feel validated within myself, and the applause, and I was a good dancer, and I was casting this, and I worked with the best choreographer on the planet, and I was ballet master with NDT, and when I stopped dancing, all of this stuff is like when my foot happened as a dancer, I recognized that I believed really much in my story. So that was one of the important, very, very important things that happened in my life. One of the best things that ever happened in my life. And also being HIV positive. Being HIV positive, I have been since 2006. Now my family knows. I let that go, let that burden go off me, and if any of my friends and my close friends that will come here or whatever, I am so grateful for this. It's one of the best gifts I could have, which changed everything, because I just didn't want to live lies anymore. And actually, I think being HIV positive has been a gift for me. Yeah, I'm on medication, and I take my medication, and I'm in a country. I'm grateful. I'm in a country that pays for my medication. Of course, I pay my insurance, but we have health packages here, which in America I would probably most likely not have. But who knows the future of anything like that. I'm just thinking if I would go there, I probably wouldn't get my insurance. But being HIV positive has been an amazing thing for me. And then as being a choreographer, because being a choreographer, stepping out and doing this, choosing, because I always had this passion to choreograph, and I love to choreograph. But through this, I think that was one of the last straws of my ego, because my ego, gosh, I question, why do I want to choreograph? Do I need to choreograph? I don't need to choreograph. And I really wanted to do it, so I started doing it, really kind of more late in my career or whatever, and feeling that, through this, it's like I had to let go, because I have such a unique voice, like all of us, and I felt so much judgment going on with me and my work and how I'm doing it. That happened as a teacher and as a dancer. And I felt entitled to be, quickly, because I was a dancer in famous companies and rehearsal director in famous companies, that I felt immediately that I needed to be validated by those people. And that never happened, I realized I was searching for that subconsciously, or to be validated by my colleagues from my past who, were incredible artists, and I needed to do that. And through that, which stepping and staying in the dance, and trying to create, I guess, I don't know, my name, so I could have jobs, so I could get around. So there was this constant kind of building up of an image or something in my mind of, again, it started to I am Maurice, and I knew I need jobs, and internationally, and and that brought a lot of suffering for me, because because I felt rejection on a scale like I probably did in school or something when I was little, and really realizing that I can appreciate rejection, because the rejection that I have felt. Now this is all made up in my head. I do choreograph, and I'm incredibly grateful for. But I couldn't see that, you see, because what was running the need of being a validated choreographer right away was the story that I unconsciously had that is part of the ego. So through my journey as a choreographer, I don't know, like I felt that constantly, and I felt envy and jealousy from for people who are my contemporaries, or even young dancers that have opportunities that I didn't have because blah 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 blah. You understand where I'm going? So identifying with all of that was kind of a dead end. And so I let go of all that, and I love to choreograph, but I don't need to do that. And if that's, I don't know, maybe you can this resonates with you or not. I don't know. We're already 20 minutes into this, if you watch this far, because I realize, you know, people don't have very much time. I don't either sometimes to sit and just take time to watch somebody. Well, I felt this, felt like just turning this on, and so I hope you enjoy my rambling and just speaking out and talking and something. And yeah, I love you. I love you. I love my life, and I love sharing with you. And if anybody asks any questions, and Kurt, this is for me and you and anyone else that is here that shares it, is happy to see me back. I just want to share my real stuff. So I do this here on my YouTube channel. I don't know. Anyway, I love you so much, and thank you for watching this. Bye, bye. Bye, guys. Bye.